a minute, but I am back. Hold on. Something's not right here. Just regrew my hand. I have two hands again. Ugh. This is weird. Anyway, but as you can see, I have indeed completed the Sea Panther. So, just as a general overview, once again, this is the Zoids AZ-10 Advanced Z Sea Panther, a motorized death hermit crab. It is a Xenebus Empire Zoid, and I I cannot be happier with the results. Just to go over a few things, there isn't a lot of articulation, mainly because this thing is motorized. There's a lot of really nice detail, though, and this thing took to panel lining very well. So let's go over some of the present gimmicks that are not motorized. So firstly, unlike the original, the cannon now extends, so you can have a longer gun barrel. It does leave that little gap there, but I don't know, that doesn't bother me too much. As you can see, I have put on all the decals as well, both the little skull unit markings, the Xenebus Empire markings, unit number, these triangles, which I trimmed because they were just huge, flat, just a lot of clear plastic or label plastic that you could see, so I just trimmed the triangle out of it, so I think that looks a lot nicer. There is supposed to be another triangle here, but I ruined those and messed those up. But Zoid's decals are pretty well known for being just like large, flat. They're never really cut very well. The exception being these Xenebus logos. Those are actually cut to contour. But the triangles I cut out. I tried to do one of the head skull units, but unit markings, but that one ended up having to be thrown away because I ruined it. But there's lots of little decals. Not as many as I thought there would be. They can be kind of obvious and not look as great per the original Zoids decals, but I will say if you're good at trimming decals in general, these are very nice stickers. They're very thin, they're unintrusive, and I think they look really good. There's even some on the top of his eyes there, as well as a little unit marking on what is the cockpit. So the other feature this has as well that isn't motorized is this can move and you can remove it. It's just an extra peg there. And then of course this opens. That opens to reveal your what is referred to as a torpedo launcher. Just looks like a 3-missile rack to me. That's pretty good. I got the little decal on it there as well. And I even have the little kill markings. I thought those were fun, so I would put those on. The other feature, you do have to slightly open this here, is the cockpit opens. And inside there is a little gray pilot figure. He's removable. Sorry, give me a minute. Oh, there he goes. He's adequately detailed. He's not as nice as the Kotobukiya multi-piece HMM model kit figures that come with theirs, but it is what it is. There's also a little bit of detail inside the cockpit, a molded seat, this nice translucent red window, and the other main gimmick it has, like a lot of the Imperial Zoids at this time, cockpit is removable, because in universe these acted as like little escape pods as well. There's even little thrusters on the back. But yeah, give you a nice view in here. The Imperial Zoids used these quite a bit, all the way up to the Red Horn even, which had a little concealed one on their HMM. And you can see in here, once you remove the cockpit, you can see some more mechanisms, as well as right here, this like spherical object there is supposed to be the Zoid core, which is kind of like the creature. Zoids are like sort of alive, and so that's like its heart. But anyway, this just reinstalls on just a little peg. Let me go ahead and get our pilot figure and put him back in. Just like that. He just drops in. There we go. We'll get to that part later. But as a little murder hermit crab, let me retract that. He's very cool. Lots of nice details. The caps are rubber, but they're not as soft as the originals. But we can now actually talk about the motorized features. So the main other cool thing here is this whole piece slides open to reveal a missile rack. But it's not just a missile rack. This is also your power switch. So you pull it forward. That makes him walk forward. Middle, off. Back, goes in reverse. It is a little bit tricky to manipulate, but that is kind of cool. I do like that it reveals missile racks too, so you can display it that way. There is, I don't know if this is supposed to be, it's not mentioned in the instructions, but this opens up. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe they're extra turrets or exhausts. Can pivot it. It's just on a hinge, so you have that. And it does look pretty cool when you extend all the weapons and open the missile bay. And you just kind of have him displayed like that. He is sitting at an angle because I switched him on. He has these on his underside, these little wheels that are sort of uneven. And as you can see, it's moving the whole mechanism. So the reason being is that this makes him kind of waddle side to side as he moves. So I'm going to close that back up. Some other really nice details. I love the new head sculpt. It's kind of hard to see, but those are some really nice translucent red pieces for his eyes. The claws are also articulated. You can open and close his little pinchers here on both arms. Very, very fun. Very silly. And that's about it. What you see is what you get. Now, let me kind of demonstrate here his sort of motorized function. He just kind of hobbles along. And like I said, the original, in the unboxing, like I said, the original Sea Panther was a wind-up Zoid. The other thing that's really cool is you can see that little thing right there, and that bobs the gun up and down. It's not as noticeable. If I hold him still, you can kind of see. So that's fun. But yeah, he moves really well. It's not as organic, obviously, as some of the other Zoids, but I do like his little side-to-side kind of hobble, and the movement of his little legs does feel a little bit more detailed. Now, the other main thing too, I forgot to mention, when you turn this on, you can see these little turbines spin, which is really cool. The build on this guy is also pretty simple. It is more or less just attaching pieces to down here. This whole thing is just the motor unit, and the battery compartment is right here. Like I said, it takes an LR1 or N-type battery, but this isn't all they give you, so we can remove the missile pod and swap it out for some extra accessories. I believe this is implied to be some sort of reconnaissance or maybe command unit. But we have what is referred to as a sonar dish, and this goes on this white post right here. And then you have these feelers. These are apparently some sort of electromagnetic sensors, and they just peg into his little face holes here. A little bit tricky to do this on camera. There's one, and here's our other one. Now, you can kind of angle them out, but you do need to have specific room for these longer feelers. So let me try my best here to install these. They just peg in. So, right here. And you do want to position them a specific way, otherwise they may get in the way of the feet and the motorized functions. But let me try and peg. Make sure that one's all the way in. There we go. Okay, so now we have what I'm assuming is more of a command or reconnaissance variant. I'm going to retract the cannon, and there we go. And you can see the little radar dish spins around on that. You can put the missile pod on there as well, but I think it looks a little silly moving around that quickly. But yep, you get this nice. Now the extra face pieces are. Ooh, the extra face pieces are 100% stationary. That needs to be out just a little bit. But I love the spinning radar dish. I think it might be spinning. I don't know. That's actually kind of, if you've seen like anti-aircraft radar, they are, when they're active, they do move pretty quickly. But it is just a really fun little feature that he has. Oop, there we go. And oop, that just popped off. There's not a lot to really show other than this. He's very nicely detailed. It is expensive, but he is nice and chunky and durable. I personally prefer the classic look. These are definitely a welcome addition, though, but I prefer the more original design where it's just the cannon and the stationary missile pod. Oh, and you can... I don't know if this is advisable per se, but there is a spot where both of these are level, and he'll sit nice and level. And you can just have this really nice static Sea Panther. And honestly, I'm really happy with this. It was expensive, but it is pretty high quality. It may be a pretty simple build, but it's well engineered. I mean, the details are wonderful. I love the sticker sheet. Does needs a little bit of trimming, but you can have a lot of fun with him. For comparison, here he is next to another 1/72nd scale mecha, the Ultimus. You have to pardon me here while I adjust our camera and scoot this back just a bit. You can see he's not very big. He's a little guy, but it's more or less what I expected. He's really good though. If you're, well, I can't maybe necessarily recommend this to casual Zoids fans or people who are just like seeing these for the first time. I apologize. I'm adjusting the camera here. As like a regular impulse purchase, or you know, you want to be into Zoids, maybe this is a good first one because it's a pretty simple build. Definitely much more simple than any of the HMM kits. It might be a good starting place. However, the price point and the obscurity, unless you're really into the Sea Panther, I think there are better options in the price range. If you want to get into the AZ line, I think the Mulga is maybe a better option. That one's also a little bit more iconic. It uses a similar mechanism and motor system, but it's a Caterpillar. I'm going to move him out of the way. And you can scoot our camera just a bit closer here. Readjust, or just scoot him forward. There is one other thing I want to compare him to. And that is... Here's a HMM 1/72nd scale. Excuse me. This is a 1/72nd scale HMM Königwolf, which is also, these guys are in the same scale. I'm going to zoom out just a bit, and just so you can get a better view of these guys both together. Whoa! Sorry, this new... You can't tell. I'm still getting used to using my right hand. It's a little weird. But as you can see, these two together, Sea Panther's pretty small. He's much bigger. As for another Imperial Zoid from the same roughly time frame in both the lore and the model kit line. Sorry. Here is the Red Horn. And again, you can see that the Sea Panther is just pretty good bit smaller. Also, like I mentioned, the Red... Oh, my computer turned off. As I mentioned, the Red Horn does use the same cockpit module. It's just inside his head. Just a fun Easter egg I thought I'd mention. But yeah, the Red Horn, these guys, he's a little guy. You can also tell his colors are a lot more vibrant. They're showing up a lot more vibrant than they are on camera than they are in real life. They're a little bit more dull. But his plastic, the red is a nice. Ooh, allow me to focus more on this. It's got a lot of nice metallic fleck in it as well, so it looks really nice. It's a lot more vibrant on camera. I don't know. The camera's color balancing is kind of weird. In real life, these two, at least visually to me, are much more closer together in shade of red. But yeah, he's a little guy. These are all in scale, but he is a smaller Zoid. In the universe, these are kind of referred to, these smaller Zoids are kind of referred to as quote unquote infantry Zoids because of their smaller role and more attuned to things like scouting and just combat that revolves large numbers of Zoids to overwhelm their enemy. So, but again, he is expensive. This is a $50 little guy. But if you're a really diehard fan of Zoids like I am, and are just amused by this in general, you're not going to be disappointed. It's very high quality. It's very well engineered. This is a little annoying, but I mean, like, it's just really awesome to have a Sea Panther in my collection. So, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you're willing to spend the money on it, I think you'll have a really fun time building it. It's a very simple build. More or less, it's just sandwiching things over the motor and the cantilever parts for his legs and claws. And you can probably, I finished putting him together. It took me about maybe, oh, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. It was not bad at all. It was a really, really fun build. Nothing at all like an HMM Zoid. These are very intensive builds, but definitely can recommend him. I'm just super stoked to have one, and expect more. I will probably be picking up the Mulga, and I have some more Zoids on the way as well. So I'm gonna try and do some stuff to get adjusted to using this hand. Oh, it's been a while since I've had a second hand. But you guys, I hope are having a good day. I'm gonna go now. Bye bye.